monitors as well. That's the one.
Did you guys like that? Okay, moving on.
Where do these days hide? Days of soft orange yellow skies, of clear river waters pensively flowing by, with fresh green, sparkling fresh trees, and grasses and tall grasses and leaves perched upon branches, dancing in a mellow breeze, under an umbrella of soft orange yellow skies. Where there's time to notice time, to notice hours, to notice minutes, to think about seconds, time to take long, slow, passionate puffs on a cheap cigar, do these days hide? Where beyond distance is more distance, where ancient hills and new blossoms combine in static delight. Where quiet is so quiet, it commands your attention. Where your soul is at such peace that it weeps, a cleansing of the toxins that accumulate in thick resins and crowd out the tiny rays of light. Choke.
If the AV is working, I want to share with you a poem I produced with Zola Ashatzi, a poem called One Finite Life.
I'm going to make. And so I wrote this poem to talk about the consciousness with which I was to live my life, the fullness with which I was to live my life. And the poem's got dramatic exaggeration to make the point that we should be living life. It's one life we've got, it should be lived to the full. One finite life. Short this life is, just one I've got. Finite in tenure, whether I like it or not. Dead is embracing fear, replacing dreams with I cannot. Alive is taking a new step, having a shot. I will do the impossible. I will change the world. I'll give hope to a despairing nation. I'll give bread to a starving girl. I'll break all the records. I'll do what's never been done. I'll give and no love. I'll be a billionaire of fun. You can whip me with your words. You can stab me with your eyes. You can chain me to the ground with your rules. You can bash me with your lies. I'll forgive any personal harm. I'll ignore all acts of mean. But I will not forgive obstruction of my purpose and dream. For I am a Superman. I'm a king. I will not just lie down. I will get up and...
Hello, everybody. The first poem is called Sets Them on Fire. I watch traditions foot stamping, dancing themselves back to divinity, singing that old song that we all know as freedom. And a heavy flood burst through the chambers of my heart, bright, red, vital. I am alive. My heart as big as this fist, and I as little as this finger. We are all connected, the living and the dead. We arrive in life, and then it walks away from us, leaving our bones behind, and our minds are as wide as the universe. Human evolution began in this corner of the earth. Our ancestors left stand, shadow thin, till we chase the horizon, disappearing until we appear again. Miracles exist. Victims become heroes. A man with no legs was the fastest runner in the world. A woman who couldn't walk swam to golden glory. Our minds are two halves reflecting duality, a system of thinking in pairs of opposites, like a one-way street, like a two-way street, like a desire for what the world does not contain. Our minds create a home as long as we are alive, our hearts as big as our fists, and we as little as our fingers. We are all connected, the living and the dead, and our minds are as wide as the universe. Thank you. Suddenly it was like, okay, you're on your own, human being. Okay, but we can do it, can't we? Yeah, we're humans, we've got voices, we can do it. So have we got sound? Okay, we don't have sound. Okay, so I was so excited about this. I've been collaborating with a wonderful, wonderful artist called Rashid Begi Nsimandi. The man from the butchery section of the Bertram Spa must have had a tummy bug the day I saw him. sitting on a crate in the middle of the condiments aisle, a pile of fresh vomit beside him, looking terribly confused. It's humiliating when your body betrays you in public. I decided not to buy tomato sauce. I couldn't bear going near the 60-year-old man, reduced to a little boy in his own mess. It seemed kinder to ignore him than to try to help. He'd want someone close, someone he knows to clean him up. Part 2. I stopped reaching to trace her father's missing face. And when my body betrays me and I'm done, I want to be surrounded by lights. And I want that for everyone.
Quickly and then turn away to eat. First, I'd nibble the edges and then find the seam of sweet gum that held the two halves together. I would lick it until it was done. Me and the biscuit were one. Holy communion.
One day, the Hillbrow Tower started to cry. Real tears poured down its sides, collected in the gutters and ran down Bankhead Street. When the other buildings saw the tower's sadness, they started to weep in sympathy. Soon the whole city was sobbing. The tears joined other tears and filled the depressions and gullies. They flooded over Fordsburg, soaking Soweto, and cascading over Gold Reef City. They flowed until they became a river that carried us into the night, where our dreams grew taller than buildings, taller than buildings. Thank you.
Well, my name is Manaka. My full name is my mother's name and my mother's name alone, which is my grandfather's name. So, I'll leave it at Mike Manaka. And I'm a poet. Not only do I live for the moment, I enjoy every moment of life. Yeah? Because that's what poetry is. It articulates our condition as human beings on earth, you know. And talking about conditions of human people, of Molfatsing. I mean, one can only say so many things, you know. And the most constant thing that comes out when you talk about condition is transformation, you know. And have we transformed as a post-94 people? For some people there has been transformation, for some people there's not. It's almost as if liberation came out of like an apartheid, like it's almost as if we came out of hospital wearing an armband. You know, a patient walks around in hospital, you can tell that's a patient because they have a tag. And it's almost as if we came out of apartheid with a tag in our hands, you know? And looking at now, in terms of the youth, because without young people, I don't think ANC would be where it is today, because ANC was founded by some of the greatest young minds on earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mac Manaka.
Walking hand in hand over the sun, walking hand in hand with the sun over Dobsonville drinking, Babylon waters and pissing blood at the back of Tyson, while the heart keeps on under in the mind. Music echoes from stars that never sleep, a scream after a year is born, a scattered top from Pinville, exposing revolution between her thighs, yet remains unseen and touched by Jamini. Daddy's little girl, where have you been? She answered polite with a voice so sweet and loose and tight muscles, she tried hard to explain, but Daddy closed all doors to explanations. Do what you want to do, he kept on saying, but none of this helps. The night keeps moving in a trend past, he let stopping money from regretting his journey, while evening star inspires others to move with the rhythm of middle ends. and teach a young girl how to dance. From Cape to do with the moon sales, giving props to mothers who gave birth to talents goes on. Show me the money before I perform. Show me the money before I perform. But is poetry all about that? Are the arts all about that? I don't think so. Do what you love, person. The money will follow. 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 But drugs and liquor seep to the notes. Artists in the industry dance to. Forget the bling bling picture. Catch the factor behind entertainer. As they drink and love the problems away at Wendy's, puking shots of vodka at the back of Gippies and comes back for home. The barman questions himself, when is this man going home? When is this man going home? Hip-hop tracks and sees at a corner and protea while burning trees. Mofolos birds fly across bar advertising, body slim and delicate, like Spela's glass of wine. My bed are flossing cheese at Getty's, and the night drinks itself to oblivion at Zagzag. Voices from SBK, Kahiso, Israel, shout, shout, shout. So they too could be placed on a historical map. Black flames burn white names off the coast of White City. And Sundays, what's today? Saturday, yeah. And Sundays and the birthdays, fly honeys with many tight dresses, dressing men's necks of all ages, yeah. And mothers letting daughters put on makeup for the priest that drinks the blood of Jesus. Well, they called them, we have to come and save us. As we relax, chillax with a couple of quads in Rocktown, dancing on clouds. Jack tries to escape a firm grip from Gardens, standing in a ship led by Captain Morgan. Kept on trying to ease down the drift, nearly cooling the drift. Dams are rocking Snawana with hairstyles on power. Let's every street show off their freestyles in summertime. And the prince relaxes mind with guitar strings, evoking nocturne memory. Back in time, so equal to blue children away from crime. Mapanchola dance in the street with proud on their feet. And comrades opposing Khatas, coffee dust. Jeff Brown, out in the loose, AKs and rising crews and rebel, like turning taverns and the blood pools, blood pools. Who can forget those days? Who can forget those days? When Southwest was a maze, before the cheese boy, cheese girl, and his cream face. These streets are very old, and beneath them lies a story untold about the southwestern side of life. Yeah.
People who still run the country don't believe. People who are in charge of the country do not believe in black economic empowerment. You know, they don't believe in all of that. Black economic empowerment is something that died with the likes of Kwame Nkrumah, with the likes of Thomas Sankara, you know, with the likes of people who wanted to have one economy in Africa, one language that is spoken by each and every one of us, and English becomes our second language. Because if you think about it now, English, because it is that language that we all speak in, it is very easy and simple for an English person to come in this country, not only find a job, but also become a citizen of this country. You know? And so we need to look at that with a very critical eye. What is De Beers selling to people who are not from this continent? Because they sell the idea of safari and all of this, and when they sell everything that's bad about the country, they start in places like Khayelitsha, they start in places like Knysna, they start in places like Soweto, in the most downtrodden communities, townships, you know. And this is what your CNN, your Al Jazeera will actually report, you know. And without actually recording the true issue that we need to talk about, which is the honest truth about reparations, how much of our people have actually suffered. And when I say our people, my people, I'm talking about black people, obviously, and colored people, and Indian people who were actually caught up in the whole struggle, you know. Those people, they need to be, I mean, what Biko was talking about in his frank talk, that the worst of racists are the liberals. They will talk about, and we still have so many liberals like that in this country, in this city, in Johannesburg. There's so many liberals who are afraid to talk about the issues that matter the most and cover them with gender equality, you know, and talk about female this, female that, you know, and cover them with rape this, rape that, you know, HIV this, HIV that. I mean, those are issues that are on the surface. But if you go deeper, I mean, Lesokharam Puluking says, crash the surface and catch a dust, you know. And people are saying that those people who are speaking about yeah, hey, this what's happening in Soweto is bad. We need to do this. We need to set up this. We need to go blah blah blah. Those same people will have a garden boy named John who is 3 years or maybe 10 years older than their fathers and still say, John, get me some water. John, do the garden. Kilabon, and there's still so many Johns in this country today. There's still so many Sophies in this country today. Kilabon, there's still so many of those. You might not just see them, but they are there, you know, and it's easy for us to bash our own because they are our own. We know how to deal with our own, but that is about to change very soon.
Where are the statues of our forgotten heroes in the dingy corners of our ghettos? Because our cities are saturated with the past dark shadows, and out of all of this rubbish, a voice of reason shouts, we need our own to look up to. Yes, we need our own to look up to, right? We need our own to look up to. Because sons and daughters of the revolution are dying of greed and expectation, see them bleed of desperation. In the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. In the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. In the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken, that our liberation was born out of fear. How long should the struggle continue to compromise while freedom whispers false light in our ears? Ma Afrika Mantle, believe me when I tell you, poverty will be some child's Christmas gift this year. In the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. In the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. The junkie poet ODs from love. The humble presentable president dies from alcohol. And the holy hope in the heart of our pope signs the church to liars that carry papers of misdirection. Why should the human heart feed off corruption? Well, listen to the great white elephant crying to me and you, singing Chimurenga and the blues in search of food and any pair of shoes. Because children born of ruins are getting lost in their own colors of pride. Mavrika, in the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. That man walks out in his family for another man, while mother murders her feelings trying to understand, and their little children bury their anger with big sand. How would they? Devil can be depressing in summer. How crooked was the hand that wrote you that love letter, my sister? But believe me when I say, but I as a sinner will tell you, it will get better. Just believe when grandmother echoes, in the dark it was written, and through light it must be spoken. This train of false pretense must stop now, not only in this poem, but also in our homes, because the truth is our last chance to happiness, and through its light, it must be spoken. Cheer!
The thing about this country is that we all fight for, it's not even just this country, people in general fight for a common goal. And in a common goal, everyone is the same. There's no black, there's no white. I mean, at the brink of annihilation, we are one, you know? And looking at now, there are more black people, there are more young black people walking the streets without jobs than there are cars parked at McDonald's right now. Kilabona. I mean, black people have the highest majority of unemployed people in this country.
How you guys doing? You guys are diehards, yeah? And listen, power to the word, yeah? You know, I saw this poet on stage and he had crutches, and I'm like, I son, wait on. There can only be one. You know one. There can only be one. Because my name is Makumela wake papa buji mpashale le khomeletse ba bosigo mtshigare ke thabalo ke nna mo konochi di kholo mana go phalwa aha.